Can everybody hear me? Yes. That's good. All right, so my name is Alan Foster. I'm the CEO and founder of Lore Media, Inc. and the Lore Books Project. So one thing I've been working on is figuring out how you can use augmented reality to design products that people will actually use. And I think we've all seen a lot of fantastic demos, but at the end of the day, it's about getting this into the hands of people so that they can use it to accomplish tasks that they do in their daily lives. The best indicator of future behavior is what? Who knows? Shout it out. Current or past behavior. Close enough. And the theory is that if you understand what people do in their daily lives right now, you'll be able to design an application that they can use and they will love if you pay attention to what they're doing. So for your convenience, this is an infographic of how people spend their free leisure time. As you can see, people spend way too much time watching TV, followed in order by socializing, gaming, reading, participating in sports, exercise, and then other recreational activities. Now, when you look at what people actually spend their time doing, and we're going to focus on reading specifically, reading is ranked 4th on how people spend their time. But when you ask people what they enjoy doing most, you'll see that reading jumps to number 2. That 1/3 of people say reading is one of the things that they absolutely love doing. And the question is, why is there such a disconnect between how much time people spend reading and the fact that they enjoy doing it so much? How can we get people to read more? And that's what I've been focusing on. And what we wanted to start, we started by researching why people actually enjoy reading. And it's been recently, in the past few years, people have been starting to look at the different mediums of reading, so print versus ebooks. And what they've started to discover is that usually people have a preference over one or the other, and it's fundamentally because of what they want out of their reading experience. So you see that when you statistically compare test results, that paperback and print books are much better at time and events, placing events that occur in order that allows for plot reconstruction. When they tested people on what happened in a story, they scored twice as well on plot reconstruction if they had a physical book that they were able to progress through. Which means that if you read a history book as an ebook, you probably got about a grade lower than you would have. So make sure to buy print books whenever you're in a history class. However, ebooks, when it comes to objects, which is reading books that it doesn't necessarily matter what order, what chapter you read, it's about gaining knowledge or information. People retain that information much better because they can navigate more effectively between the different sections or identify key elements that they can go back to at a later date. So now I'm going to be giving a demo of Lore Books, and this is our backup demo right there. Now, good. Just have to make sure we recognize the space, and then I preloaded it right behind me. So our goal, the goal of Lore Books, is to take ebooks, pre-existing content, and optimize it for the augmented reality medium as viewbooks, virtual literature that has the best of both worlds. So unfortunately, our user interface is lacking. So some of you might recognize this logo. This is the logo of Skyrim, a video game from the Elder Scrolls series that was launched in 2012. It was ranked the #1 greatest games of all time by, I believe it was Game Explorer? Somebody. Our goal was to replicate, basically take the books and format them outside of the game. But what we realized is that this is actually a new form of digital media because it's not a print book or an ebook. So it falls technically under a new classification. So let me just increase the size, just because I know it can be a little bit difficult to read. And one thing we were actually very surprised of is the quality of the text. We didn't know if this would work. mostly because the quality of reading in virtual reality is so low that it was a shock to us that this worked at all. So obviously, right now, we don't have dynamic height adjustment on the books. That I just canceled out of the application. Don't worry, it saved my space. There, that's a feature. Now, in the future, what we plan to do, and this is a basic overlay of a video I added because I love cats. One thing that this offers is the ability to project ambient environments around you. So right now, we are on the streets of France, which has nothing to do with this book, but we just found a 3D environment and projected around you. Now, something like this will allow you to become much more immersed in the content, which we're focusing on augmented reality because most people don't realize you can do virtual reality with augmented reality. Now, I can still see that most of you are around me, so I'm aware of my environment as I'm moving around on a stage that's about 3 feet off the ground. And what's great is I can switch back and forth between staying completely focused within the content or coming out and being able to move around freely. So our vision for the future is that once augmented reality devices are as common as smartphones, that when you walk up to the bookshelf in your house, you'll purposefully leave a section of that bookshelf blank, which will allow you to navigate your digital library as a physical library, to be able to take a digital book off of that shelf and put it somewhere in your room or even in your pocket and carry it with you to enjoy through your day. One other interesting application of this technology is the ability to take books that otherwise are inaccessible due to their rare nature or the fact that they're simply too damaged. There are hundreds of books at Boston Public Library or here at MIT that are not available to the public, or if you do want to access them, it's a week-long process with training, and basically it's incredibly tedious. So the theory is by digitally scanning these books as three-dimensional objects, we can create the world's largest virtual library that offers the best of both worlds. What we plan to do is keep literature relevant into the future. It's a billion-dollar industry, and right now, augmented reality and newer technologies have been pushing it away. And other forms of media, such as video, music, other things like that. Lorebook's plans to make literature relevant by allowing you to engage with your content in a more immersive way that helps you enjoy it better. Thank you. So this device is brought to you by the Boston AR Public Meetup Group. I have to plug them because I do not own this device. If you want to borrow this device, you can. All you have to do is come to the next Boston AR Meetup Group. I don't believe we have a date. There are 5 of these. Otherwise, if you would like to borrow a HoloLens for a day, for a week, send me an email right there. I suggest you take a picture if that's something that would be interesting to you. Otherwise, thank you very much.